You just ate. You know you did. Maybe it was 20 minutes ago, maybe an hour. You're not hungry. Your body has everything it needs right now. And yet, there's something in the kitchen. There's something in your bag. There's something 2 clicks away on your phone that will arrive at your door in 30 minutes. And part of your brain, a very loud, very persuasive part, is already making a case for why you should have it. You probably think that's a willpower problem. You probably think some people just have more discipline than others, and you got unlucky, that the solution is more self-control, better choices, a stronger version of you. Here's what's actually happening. Your brain is working perfectly. It's doing exactly what it was built to do. The problem is it was built for a world that no longer exists. Let's start at the beginning. Your ancestors didn't have a kitchen. They didn't have a fridge, a supermarket, a vending machine, or a late-night delivery window. What they had was a landscape, and somewhere in that landscape, if they were lucky, was food. Finding it required hours of walking, scanning, climbing, digging, and when they found it, they had a critical decision to make. Eat now or save it. And saving it for most of human history meant leaving it. There was no Tupperware, there was no pantry. If you walked away, something else would eat it. So the brain developed a very simple rule. When food is available, eat it. Eat more than you need right now. Store the excess as fat, because tomorrow there might be nothing. This wasn't weakness. This was genius. The humans who felt satisfied and stopped eating at the right moment, they died. The ones who always went back for more, who couldn't quite resist the berries even after they were full, they survived. They had children. Those children had the same brain. You inherited a machine designed for scarcity, and then someone filled your world with abundance. The machine didn't get the memo. But here's where it gets interesting, because hunger isn't just one thing. You probably think you eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. Clean, simple, logical. Your body sends a signal, you respond, done. That's not even close to how it works. Your eating behavior is controlled by at least 2 completely separate systems running simultaneously, often in direct conflict with each other. The first is your homeostatic system, the one that actually tracks your energy needs, measures your fat stores, monitors your blood sugar, and sends genuine hunger signals when your body needs fuel. This system is ancient, reliable, and largely honest. The second system is your hedonic system, and it doesn't care if you're hungry. The hedonic system is about reward. It runs on dopamine. It responds to sugar, fat, salt, novelty, and the memory of pleasure. It can be activated by a smell, by a sound, by a wrapper, by seeing someone else eat on a screen. It doesn't ask whether you need food. It asks whether food is available and whether it was good last time. Here's the uncomfortable part. For most of human history, these 2 systems mostly agreed. Calorie-dense food was rare, so when the hedonic system fired, it was usually pointing at something you actually needed. The reward signal and the survival signal were pointing the same direction. Now they're not. The hedonic system fires dozens of times a day. At every ad, every aroma, every carefully engineered product designed in a lab to be, in the industry's own words, it is hyper-palatable. And your homeostatic system, the honest one, can barely get a word in. You're not overeating because you're weak. You're overeating because one of your 2 eating systems has been hacked. So who figured this out first? Not a doctor, not a nutritionist. A cigarette company. In the 1950s, tobacco executives faced a problem. People were starting to worry about smoking. Sales were threatened. So they did what any rational industry would do. They hired the best behavioral scientists money could buy and asked a very specific question. How do you make something so compelling that people can't stop even when they know they should? The answer they found didn't stay in tobacco. It migrated into snack food boardrooms, beverage labs, fast food R&D departments. The entire modern food industry inherited a playbook written by people who were trying to addict you to cigarettes. In 2013, investigative journalist Michael Moss published a landmark investigation, later expanded into a book called Salt, Sugar, Fat, documenting years of internal food industry research. What he found was that major manufacturers like Kraft, Nestle, and Coca-Cola had been running sophisticated neuroscience experiments for decades, not to make food more nutritious, to make it more irresistible. They had a name for what they were looking for: the bliss point. The bliss point is the precise combination of salt, sugar, and fat that produces maximum pleasure in the human brain, and crucially, maximum craving. Not just enjoyment, craving. The specific ratio at which your hedonic system fires hardest, and your satisfaction signal fires least. The point where eating the thing makes you want more of the thing. And here is the detail that should change how you look at every product in your kitchen. They found it. They reverse-engineered human desire and encoded it into formulas. Every major processed food product you've ever loved, every chip, every cookie, every sauce, has been mathematically optimized to hit that point. Not approximately, precisely. your brain never stood a chance, because the bliss point doesn't just make food taste good, it actively dismantles the signal that's supposed to tell you to stop. Normally, as you eat something, a process called sensory-specific satiety kicks in. The pleasure of that food gradually decreases, your interest fades, you naturally slow down and stop. It's one of your body's oldest and most reliable brakes, but hyperpalatable food is engineered to attack that brake directly. The flavors shift just enough, layer just enough, surprise just enough, that your brain keeps waiting for a satisfaction signal that never quite arrives. So you have one more, then one more. The variety is artificial, but your brain treats it as real novelty, and real novelty means keep going. You're staring at an empty bag, wondering what just happened. What happened was science, just not science working for you. But there's one more layer, and this one is the strangest of all. Even if you removed every engineered food product from the planet tomorrow, even if you cleared every lab-optimized chip and every precision-blended sauce, you would still have a problem, because the environment itself has been redesigned. Think about where food appears in your life now versus where it appeared 20 years ago. It used to exist in specific places: kitchens, restaurants, designated meal times. There were edges to it, boundaries. Your brain got a rest between encounters. Now food is everywhere. It's at the petrol station, the pharmacy, the cinema lobby, the gym reception, the work meeting, the airport gate, the checkout line. It's on your phone in the form of ads, influencers, and food content that your algorithm learned you respond to. It's in your face from the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep. And every single exposure, even a photo, even an ad, even someone eating on a screen, triggers a small dopamine response, a little nudge from your hedonic system, a quiet whisper that says food exists and you could have some. Individually, each nudge is tiny. Collectively, across a full day, they add up to a brain that has been in a low-grade state of food arousal for its entire waking life. You arrive at meals already primed, already nudged, already activated, and your body, your honest, homeostatic body, never even got to cast a vote on whether you were actually hungry. Then you wonder why the portion doesn't feel like enough. There's a concept in behavioral science called the obesogenic environment, the idea that the problem isn't individual failure but a landscape so thoroughly engineered toward consumption that restraint requires constant, exhausting conscious effort every single time, every single day. Here's what that means in practice. Thin people in the modern world are not people with stronger willpower. They are people whose particular psychology, circumstances, or habits happen to create slightly more friction between them and the food. A different commute, a different childhood, a different stress response. Remove that friction and the same biology plays out. You are not fighting your appetite. You are fighting an environment built by some of the most sophisticated behavioral engineers who have ever lived, using tools your brain has no evolved defense against, inside a landscape that didn't exist until about 15 minutes ago in evolutionary time. And you're trying to beat it by just trying harder. So where does all of this leave you? Well, tonight you'll probably eat something you didn't plan to. Maybe late, maybe after you already said you were done. And for a moment you might feel that familiar flicker of frustration at yourself. You'll wonder, not for the first time, why you can't just be different, why everyone else seems to manage it fine, why you keep ending up here in this exact moment, making this exact choice, feeling like the only person on earth who can't get this simple thing right. But that impulse you felt, that pull towards something warm and sweet and immediate, that's not a flaw in your character. That's a 200,000-year-old survival machine doing its job in a world it was never designed for. A brain that kept your ancestors alive through ice ages and famines and long empty winters with nothing in sight. It just doesn't know the war is over.